Good morning, Rogers High School. It's time for Credit Check Spring Semester. You should already have your transcripts, copies of your transcripts. Remember, seniors, we gave those to you a couple of Fridays ago so that you could download them for your community scholarship application. So if you don't have one, if it's out in your car, if you've done something else with it, you're just going to have to do your credit check by memory. Hopefully you still got the one that you started in the 9th grade, so it shouldn't be a problem for you to remember what classes you passed and took as a first semester senior. 9th graders, you got a credit check sheet first semester, even though you didn't have a transcript to actually do credit check sheets with. You still have that one. Some of you, I think, marked that you were taking classes, so that is the one you use. We want you to keep those so that you have them and don't have to reinvent every year doing a credit check sheet. This is the best way to keep up with your credits and make sure you have everything you need. We will start registration in February. We'll start with the seniors, juniors, seniors to be, as always. And you need to make sure that you have what you need to take when you register for classes so that you don't come in without any knowledge of what classes that you need to take or as far as required classes. And then electives, we are going to have some new elective classes that you may want to choose from. So we will cover all of that in February, but this is the best preparation so you know exactly where you stand as far as high school and moving on to the next step. Each box on your credit check sheet is equal to a semester of work. So if you've completed the semester of that class, you can mark it off. You must have passed it, and you must not have an NC. If you have an NC, that's the same as not passing it, and so you're going to have to retake it either during school next year or you're going to have to take Odysseyware. Those are questions for your counselor. Not right now because we're doing credit checks. Wait, please, before you come see your counselor. Make sure we have finished with credit checks and you know exactly what it is that you need. On the credit check sheet, one side is core, one side is SmartCore. They're the exact same thing except for math and science. So as we get started on this, you can say all 9th graders need to start SmartCore because that's probably where you are right now. But some of you may have, because of the math in particular, some of you may be on the core side of the page. As I said, the differences between SmartCore and core are math and science, and I will point those out as we go. If you have questions, Jay Gartman is still the person to email. Of course, we won't have any live answers because this is a video, but she will be glad to answer your questions as she gets them. Jay Gartman. So looking at the top row, it's English. You have to have 4 years of English. There are 8 squares there, and you should mark off what you have completed. Remember, you must have a passing grade, not an F, not an NC to mark it off. Some of you may want to put a T for taking classes so you can get a better picture of what you are doing and what you may need still to take the remaining years in high school. Seniors who have passed college comp first semester, you can mark off both squares because that is equal to a full credit of English 4 in high school. Of course, most of you will want to complete college comp 2 because college won't count it like high school does. But if you have completed and passed college comp 1, that is equal to 1 credit of senior English. For the sciences, as I said, this is where it's different between core and SmartCore. For SmartCore, you must have biology, and then you must have 2 of the following 3, either physical science, chemistry, or physics to graduate SmartCore. So that is what's required. SmartCore is also required for honors graduation, so those of you who are looking to that must complete those classes. On the other side, for core, it's biology, and then a class that is a physical science, which for most of you will be the class called physical science, but also chemistry and physics count in there. And then your third science is your choice. For social studies, it's the same for everybody. American history, world history, a semester of civics, a semester of economics, and that doesn't change. That's the same for everybody. For civics, those of you who are taking AP Government, yes, that counts as your civics, but you must complete the entire credit of AP Government for it to count as your civics. You can't just do a semester. and say you're finished. You have to complete the whole year. If you're asking what do I do with that other half credit of civics or AP government, put it down in electives 1 because it is an elective because you're actually doing a full credit instead of just a semester credit. The next line is all those classes at the end that you got to have a half or a full credit in. For example, career and tech. Those are like agri classes, family and consumer science classes, broadcast classes, computer science, business, any of the shop classes that we do. Also, like our new engineering classes, all of those are CT classes. If your teacher has an old course catalog, they're marked in there fairly well, and I do want you to know there are going to be some new options for next semester for those of you who might be interested, haven't taken a CT but might be interested in doing one. Health is health. It's called Health Digital now, but that is a required class. Fine arts is an art class, a drama class, a choir, band, or orchestra. The one exception on the drama is a class called ELA drama. That does not count as a fine arts. It counts as a language arts. So ELA drama is not a fine arts. A lot of you have already taken the intro to theater before you take the ELA drama. Intro to theater does count as fine arts. Then oral comm, everybody's got to have that. And then a full credit of PE. And our sports classes do count as PE credit. Then the math, save the best for last. The math, the difference is in SMART Core, you have to get a math higher than Algebra 2, which would include Pre-Cal, AP Calculus, AP Statistics, Algebra 3, and for this year, Linear Systems. Next year, we're going to have a new class called Statistics, not AP Statistics, but simply Statistics that will also count, and that's for next year for those of you who are kind of looking at what you might like to do if you're trying to graduate SMART Core. For Core, you have to have Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Algebra 1 and Geometry, and those you may take using Algebra First Part, Algebra Second Part, Geometry First Part, Geometry Second Part. You've got to have a total of 4 credits. You might take Bridge to Algebra 2, you may take Algebra 2, but those are, you still have to have 4 credits and you must complete Algebra 1 and Geometry. So if you do Algebra First Part, you must do Algebra Second Part, and if you do Geometry First Part, you must do Geometry Second Part. Kind of gets a little confusing. Your math teachers are whizzes on this. They know all of this information, and I know for a fact that they will meet with you individually to discuss your classes for next year, as all your teachers will meet with you and make recommendations for next year. So if you're a little confused on where you are, your math teacher will be glad to answer the question, as will your counselor. Then the last part is electives. We've kind of divided them up between electives 1 and 2 because the state requires that you can't do any, you've done all the PE you can to count towards your graduation. Rogers requires more credits than the state. We require 24, the state requires 22. Long explanation. If you're confused about, if you don't think you're going to have enough electives, come ask your counselor. It has not ever been really a problem that a kid, even if you like an athlete and take PE every year for a full credit, you're still going to have enough elective credits to put in there. But if you're a little bit worried, just by all means come talk to your counselor about that. And like I said, we'll be meeting with you for registration in February. This is really important that you get an idea of what you need, so when you meet with your counselor for registration, you've got the best opportunity of getting accurate classes chosen for next year. Look at what you're taking this semester. I'd put it on there so that you get a complete picture of what is going on. If you have any questions, please email Ms. Gartman, J. Gartman, and she will be glad to get back with you. And by all means, if you see a mistake you think on your transcript, come see your counselor. Mistakes are, for example, if you're looking at your class and you've got a grade and then you look all the way to the right and it's not giving you any credit, it's not giving you a half a credit or a full credit that you need, that would be a mistake we need to correct. So bring those to your counseling office. If you think a grade is incorrect on your transcript, that really needs to start with the teacher, because we counselors don't have a way of knowing whether it's correct or not. It's the teacher that's going to know. So if you think I shouldn't have this grade on my transcript, then you need to ask the teacher about that. I've already had a student in here asking me questions about some transfer credits, and we're fine with checking. That's not a problem. I'm just trying to give you direction to go that'll help you get your answer the quickest. Have any questions, email Ms. Gartman. Thank you.